We're welcoming Derek from Seabourn and Holland. So he's come to get us up to date and share some things on what is happening in Holland, America, what's new, what's exciting. So he's going to bring us up to date on that. But with Seabourn and Holland America both, we have a great partnership, ourselves and headquarters, when it comes to being able to access group space. It may mean a better price, it might mean some extra amenities. There's way too many of them to ever list on a piece of paper. So if there's something that you're interested in, an itinerary, whatever, just reach out to your vacation specialist and we'll make sure that we check it out and get you what you need and the information that you need. We'll go ahead and turn it over. This is Derek from, and I don't want to butcher your last name, Strother?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So Derek from Holland America, and I'll let him take it away and bring us up to date on what we need to know about Holland.
Perfect. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Or at this point, good evening. And for those of you who I had last session, nice to see you again. And for the new folks that joined us, my name is Derek with Holland America and Seabourn. I guess quick fun facts, I got into travel because I am a military brat. Both of my parents are ex-military, or sorry, retired military at this point. So I do enjoy traveling and long walks on the beach at night, so that's always my fun part. So, quick little update for you guys about Holland America, and as I was walking around, I was hearing some stories being shared about Holland America, so I'm glad you guys know the history, so thank you for that. So this should be real smooth for you guys. May I ask for one of the lights?
Oh, yeah. Makes it better.
Perfect, thank you much. Yes, thank you, dear. All right, so we're just gonna go right into it. So actually, quick show of hands. Within the last 10 years, has anyone sailed Holland America? Okay, perfect. So some of the information I may share may be updated information for you guys, but if not, we'll still go through it. So to start off, Holland America is a premium cruise line designed for our three pillars, as we call it: explorers, foodies, and music lovers. So for the explorers, these are folks that like to really immerse themselves in the destination. In our last session, we talked about how Seabourn really caters to the ship and then focuses on the destination. Well, Holland is the opposite. Holland focuses on the destinations that they could take you to with their history and then focus on the ships after that. So with the explorers, again, really immerse yourselves in the destinations that you guys travel to. So we have kind of a new campaign slogan, if you will, see the world from the doorstep. So with our current fleet, Holland America has 5 home ports from North America, including Canada. So we sail from Seattle, Boston, San Diego, Fort Lauderdale, as well as Vancouver. We do have some home ports in Montreal and Quebec City as well, but that's more towards the end of the year, in the fall. But essentially, you could visit 225 different ports in 91 different countries just from leaving these 5 areas within the United States. So you'd have to travel far to see far. So a lot of the folks, we went through, as everyone did, a lot during the, I don't want to give it a name, but the last 3 years. So we had time, we did lose some ships, but we really, again, helped us focus on the destinations that we visit, and also just to focus more on you guys as our potential clients or past clients. So we really kind of defined who our modern or our current guest is, and we gave it the name Modern Explorer. Now, when it comes to exploring, I'm not referring to the explorers that like sweating, because that's the last thing I like doing at any type of activity I'm doing. But these are explorers that like to learn and seek experiences and not things. They, again, really want to immerse themselves in a destination. So if you guys like to really go and immerse yourselves in whether it's a spa or a food tour, Holland America would be the cruise line for you. So again, our guest is the Modern Explorer. So these folks they've worked hard all their life. You're at a stage where you're able to travel and have the resources to, and you guys are forever curious. You seek joy and connections, as well as sharing experiences with, whether people or new folks that you meet. And again, that word immerse yourselves is really going to be repeated a lot in this, but you really like to immerse yourselves in new places and cultures as well. Now, moving on to my favorite category, the foodie category. So, I am proud to say that Holland America, for those that know or don't know, we are the only cruise line with exclusive culinary council of celebrity chefs. So we are headed by Rudy Seldeman, who actually now works for Princess as well. But he has his own specialty restaurant on all of our ships, as well as he's the head chef that's head of our culinary council. So these have to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These 6 chefs have a hand in every single menu that you guys will experience while you're sailing with us, whether it's the main dining room, room service, of course, specialty restaurants, and even the buffet area. So they all have a touch and a specialty item or plate located there. So just a quick snapshot. This is just a broad overview of our whole fleet, but we have the complimentary dining options. We also have specialty restaurants, and then of course we have our bars and lounges that's available throughout the whole fleet. Not to walk over to the screen, but if you guys ever sail with us, it's a little small, but Tamarind, not that Tamarind, this Tamarind specialty restaurant is probably one of my favorites. If you really want fresh food, it has more of an Asian feel to it. So if you're into that, that's great. If also Rudy Seldemer's restaurant, which is called Rudy Seldemer, is a seafood restaurant, and that's probably one of my favorite seafoods I've probably ever had on board anywhere. So if you have any food questions, I'm more than able to tell you all about that.
I have a question on food. Can you get more than one lobster? I heard you can only get one now.
No, so I think it depends, but no, you should be able to get more than one. So
Okay,
you're still on the cruise ship, so. Moving on to our next pillar, our music lovers. So, for those who travel within the last 10 years with us, you guys may know this. So we have our exclusive music walk area, which is pretty much our award-winning venue. Most people forget that we have a main theater because all the focus is here on the music walk. So the music walk is comprised of Lincoln Center Stage, B.B. King's Blues Club, Billboard on Board, which features our dueling pianos, which is probably one of my favorite areas, as well as the Rolling Stone Rock Room. So on our smallest ships, they did combine the B.B. King's and Rolling Stone into one area called the Rolling Stone Lounge. So you may not see the individual names, but that's where they're located now on the smaller ships. But in addition to our music walk, we still have our Best of Entertainment. So within our main stage, as we call the World Stage, we do have our Step 1 dance company. We host BBC Earth in concert. We also have Cantare, which is kind of a mix between dance and singing show. And as well as we have our EXC talks, which is essentially when we have guest speakers come in and host different presentations or talk about different topics, with whether it's the destination or the history of the brand or the place that we're visiting. So we can't forget to mention that on top of these 3 pillars, we also are still known for our renowned service. You know, we really have loyal guests. The way our loyalty status goes from 1 star all the way up to 5 stars, and you know, for those avid cruisers, they're always proud to say, well, I've been on 362 cruises, or I've been on for 552 days. So we really try to make sure we keep up to the standards for them. And it's honestly our crew's warmth and genuine presence that really keeps everyone coming back. So we're really proud of that. But have to also mention our perfectly sized ships. So the one thing I love about our ships is that they're really timeless design, spacious, sleek nautical lines as well, and they're thoughtfully designed staterooms and spaces. And we also feature fresh flowers and museum art throughout all of our ships. So we currently have 4 classes of ship, 11 ships in total. So the bigger class would be the Pinnacle, which is total 26 or 2,650 passengers, to our smallest class, which is Rotterdam, which is about 1,400 passengers. So not as big as some of these cruise ships are getting, and I don't think we'll ever get bigger than 2,600, which I'm fine with because I'm still able to take the stairs or wait for the elevator without any wait. So it's really just press a button and it's there. So I really do love the size, and we like to say, again, we're perfectly sized mid-sized ships. So, for those of you who have cruised with us before, Holland America within the last couple of years has been a great, launching point for those that don't cruise, and it's really because of you guys. Because you tell your friends, I'm going on traveling somewhere, and they really like to join you. So we have seen a huge increase in first-time cruisers. So again, bring your family, bring your friends. Even the kids, to turn them into cruisers. So about 75% of our new guests are coming on because of you guys, our loyal guests. So thank you for that. And essentially, all that to say is, when you're sailing with Holland America, you're able to trust the real experts. Long story short, this year we are celebrating 150 years. So I heard the gentleman in the back talking about how he remembers we used to transport passengers between New York and Rotterdam. So that's really where our history started, and this year we're proud to celebrate 150 years. So we have some cool things going on, and even with the promotions that we have available to you guys that really highlight our anniversary. And speaking of anniversaries, we're going to go into kind of a high overview of some of our popular destinations and some popular itineraries that we have. But our next anniversary was really last year, was 75 years, but this year makes 76 years. So we were the first to cruise to Alaska. We've been sailing to Alaska before the state even was a state and before they had paved roads. So that's really our history there. And because of that, we're actually grandfathered into a lot of privileges that you won't find with other cruise lines out there. Not going to name them particularly, but we'll go through and I'll give you little pointers. So just some quick fun facts about why cruising to Alaska with Holland America would be great. We're number one in Glacier Bay. That means nothing to you guys right now, but the next picture will probably help you out. But we have the most permits, so we're only one of two cruise lines, and the second cruise is actually our sister, Princess, that is allowed inside of Glacier Bay National Park. And we really get you guys up close and personal to the icebergs, so you really get to take your pictures, do your videos, see and hear the calving of the ice. We have exclusive Yukon access, and we have our Denali experience as well. We kind of cater our onboard programming to Alaska as well. We have a new itinerary that I'll talk about shortly. And of course, we still have our excursions to get you closer to the destination. But to go back to the first point real quick, number one in Glacier Bay. And I hope this picture will help show you why we're number one. So and this is a real picture, it's not doctored, no digital images, but we're really about 50 to 100 feet from from a glacier in the Glacier Bay National Park. And what the ship does is it'll anchor and it'll kind of spin around for maybe 2 to 4 hours depending on the day. So you really get that full experience of Glacier Bay. And on top of that, we also bring on rangers that tell you about how the glaciers were named and also some of the paths that we're taking. And again, we're only one of two cruise lines that's able to do this. So you really are able to ask them all your questions about the history. And they have a little table set up in our forward kind of lounge at the top of the ship that really gives you a perfect view of your day in Alaska. So just to go through it real quick, so for our Alaska cruises, that's part one of the 3 options that we have for Alaska. But just wanted to go through some of our popular itineraries. We have the 7-day round trip Vancouver called the Insight Passage, which is preferably my favorite. The waters is a little bit calmer leaving from Vancouver and it's more scenic as well. On the opposite side, if you don't want to go to Canada, we do have our popular Alaskan Explorer, which is round to Seattle. That one's a nice view when you're leaving Seattle, so you get the skyline in the backdrop, but then you're really out in the ocean super quick. But then we also have our Glacier Discovery northbound as well as southbound, and that's either Vancouver to Whittier, aka Anchorage, or Whittier to Vancouver as well. So these next pictures are some of my favorites that I was able to capture when I was in Alaska. So we have the whale, the orca, walruses, and the seals, and they're actually super playful. So if you guys have the time, we also announced this new itinerary that has been super popular. It's actually a 28-day round trip Seattle, Alaska Arctic Circle. So as you can see, it's pretty in depth, and you do cross the Arctic Circle before coming back down. But a lot of folks said they love Alaska. They wanted some more time and more ports. So there you go. Moving on to our cruise tour options, we have two options, Denali and Yukon. I will show you this, which is in the books I provided for you, so I won't go off of it. But we have several options to choose from, and each cruise tour includes different inclusions. But I'll let the travel team go into that into detail if you guys have any questions. But fun fact, the Denali National Park was actually founded because of the middle picture right here, the Dall sheep, to protect their environment, and then the other four animals just happened to populate there as well. But these will be the big five that you're most likely guaranteed or sure to see within Denali. So we have the Dall sheep, the moose, caribou, grizzly bear, as well as the white wolf. And with our cruise tour programs, we have several options that we call direct to Denali, which essentially is like this picture shows. You literally get off the ship and you're able to hop our train, which is the McKinley Explorer. That'll take you straight to our property in Denali National Park, located right at the entrance, which is the bottom right-hand corner, McKinley Chalet Resort. So it goes northbound and southbound as well. And I'm just doing a random picture of the forest that we have. Here's also a picture of our motor coaches that we use, also called the McKinley Explorer. The bottom left-hand corner is a picture inside of our glass dome train that will take you either northbound or southbound from the ship between our private resort. And the bottom right-hand picture is an image of our new suites that we opened up within our Denali property as well. So, and that's a really nice area that they really built. The regular staterooms are nice, which I actually love because they have a real nice kind of cabin feel, if you like that log cabin look. The suites were modeled after hotel rooms, if you will. And it's a nominal fee to upgrade to, and everyone really feels like it's worth it. But if you're thinking about a cruise tour, make sure you book early because they do sell out quickly. Within our McKinley Chalet Resort, we do have what we call Denali Square, which is kind of like our entertainment area, which will be the top right-hand picture. Features fire pits, there's some stores, shops, as well as some really good restaurants. And we also have our kind of famous dinner and the show production there as well, that everyone loves. And again, our property is located right in Denali National Park as well, so you can't beat the views that you'll get. And also, as a reminder, we are the only cruise line with access to the Yukon, which, fun fact, I did not know the Yukon is actually in Canada. I thought it was in the States, but it's not. And when you choose your Yukon tour, whether it's any of the 6 options, you do get a journey host, as we call them, that'll guide you from the ship all around the Yukon and through Denali, or vice versa if you're doing the land first. So we do have 2 options, cruise first or land first for our cruise tours. But we do have the journey host available for you with every Yukon. Okay, so moving over to the East Coast, talk about Canada and New England real quick. So we do offer more than 20 sailings. This time frame is between May and October. And I forgot to mention that our Alaska season is between May and September. But we have 2 ships doing it this year, and we'll also have 2 ships doing Canada, New England next year. So just wanted to talk about some of our popular itineraries. We have our Canada and New England Discovery, which is usually our round trip, Boston to Montreal or Montreal to Boston, and it's 7 days with calls in Greenland and Newfoundland. As well as we have a slightly longer one, which is a round trip Boston that circumnavigates Iceland, as well as calls in Greenland and Newfoundland as well. Okay. Then heading down the coast to the Caribbean with our award-winning Half Moon Cay, which I thought I had a nicer picture of, but you know, we love adventurous. That's okay. Pretty standard. It's our award-winning private island located within the Bahamas. So we offer different shore excursions. We have cabanas. We offer weddings. I shouldn't say weddings. It's more like ceremonies for renewals or anything like that. So we do offer that. And we also have cabanas as well. So I'm sure most of you guys have been to the Caribbean, so I won't go through this in detail. But the ones I will point out is our Panama Canal Sunfair itinerary, which tends to be a popular one. We do go through the first 2 locks before we turn around, and it is round trip Fort Lauderdale. And as well, another one that's popular with us is our Southern Caribbean, which goes down and visits the ABC Islands for those that haven't been there. And there's some other stops that's usually included, like St. Lucia, Grenadine, what's another one? Barbados as well. So that's what will be included in our longer Southern Caribbean. Right. And as the English would say, hopping across the pond, have to talk about Europe because that's essentially where our roots started. So fun fact, as the gentleman mentioned earlier, I don't know if you guys heard them, but yeah, so we did start by transporting passengers during the war from Rotterdam to New York and back. So we have strong roots and strong heritage and history in Europe. So again, like Alaska, we're also grandfathered into certain privileges within that area as well. So one of our popular itineraries would be round trip Amsterdam, or you could do this as a round trip Rotterdam, but it's a 7-day Viking saga, which stops in Norway. That was just Norway, but we have another one. Another popular one is our Adriatic Gems, which is round trip Venice, which stops in usually Montenegro, Croatia, as well as Greece. And the good thing is with both Holland and Seabourn, if you do back-to-backs, there's few to none repeating ports, so you're really able to see the most of the world without having to worry about duplicates. And the one thing that makes Holland America unique compared to some of our competitors is we offer collector's voyages. So I'm sure you guys are very familiar with back-to-back cruises because other cruise lines have that. But again, with the part that I just mentioned with the little to no back-to-back cruises or back-to-back ports, we offer that with our collector's voyages. And also, if you do collector's voyages, it usually yields a lower price per day. So essentially more bang for your buck and also more destinations without repeating ports that you're able to see. So with Holland America, that would be under our collector's voyages. And you can essentially mix and match any itineraries that are concurrent with each other. So for example, I put here the 12-day Greek Odyssey that we offer, added with the 12-day Mediterranean Tapestry to create the 24-day Magic of the Mediterranean. So essentially there's plenty of options for you. Moving into a new category that Holland America has recently named, if you will. We've always had it, but they just never officially had a name to it. But essentially, we have our standard cruises, which is anywhere between 7 to 14, maybe 7 to 21 days. But they recategorized it to 7 to 14. Then, of course, you guys may have heard of our world cruises, which is anywhere between 126 days or longer. And we have our exotics, which is 50 to 72 days. But we created a new name for the category called Legendary Voyages to celebrate our history and just with our privileges that we have available to us. So these are anywhere between 25 to 59 day voyages that are globally. Won't go into the whole list that we have available, but this is what we have to start. They tend to be on the smaller ships because, you know, the small ships are able to get into the smaller ports, again, to really immerse yourselves in the destinations. But I could always send this to the travel team so that you guys could have. But I did want to point out the top 5 that we have, or at least for this year, that have been super popular. So again, it's the Alaska Arctic Circle Solstice that I mentioned. Our Voyage of the Vikings that I didn't mention earlier is a round trip Boston that does circumnavigate Iceland, but also does stops in our pretty history in Amsterdam before coming back to Boston. We have our Canada, New England, and Iceland that I mentioned. Our tropical Caribbean and Panama Canal, which is a one-way between Fort Lauderdale and San Diego, as well as our round trip San Diego, Hawaii, Tahiti, and Marquesas itinerary as well, which the last one has been selling super popular lately. So we're glad to see that we're able to offer this to you guys because, again, you asked, we listened, and we're happy that we're able to provide these options to you. Okay, and then again, can't forget to mention we still have our grand voyages, so 20 23 sold out in about 3 months. 2024 sold out a little bit more time than that. So we are waiting for the announcement of our 2025 Grand Voyage, which should be out within the next couple of weeks. So once I have that information, I'll be happy to share it with the travel team to get out to you guys as well. So moving on to what's included and how do you get on these sailings. So again, going back to you asked, we listened. During the pandemic, we really did try to change some stuff around and make it easier for you guys. So we have come up with our Have It All program, which includes shore excursion, credit, Wi-Fi package, drink package, as well as specialty dining. And to put this into a nice little grid for you, depending on the length of your cruise, your specialty dining and your shore excursion credit will increase, but your Wi-Fi and your beverage packages will stay the same. But essentially, on a standard cruise, you could get one shore excursion credit up to $100 value or $100 off any tour. You get the signature drink package as well as one night in specialty dining for all guests in the stateroom, and the Wi-Fi package as well for guests 1 and 2. And a good thing to mention that I like to note with our Have It All package, when it comes to the drink package, the service charges are included. And that's important because you're essentially already covering that versus other cruise lines. They'll offer you a drink package, but then when you get on board, you'll still be, in a sense, taxed for every drink that you offer. And also on top of that, for our drink packages too, if you do decide to drink anything that may be more expensive than the actual package, we don't charge you for the full amount. We just charge you for the difference. So signature goes up to, I think, $11 or $12. So if you want that $14 drink, then it'll just cost you $2 because your service charges, again, are already included. So you won't have to worry about that. And because, again, we listen to you guys, so on top of our Have It All, the young lady, I don't want to pick on her, Miss Ginger, she was talking about 2024 and 2025. So we do have a new promotion where the earlier book, we upgrade your kind of package for you. So instead of the signature beverage package, we upgrade it to the elite beverage package. For the Wi-Fi, we upgrade you to the premium Wi-Fi. And also we include the prepaid crew appreciations, which essentially is the gratuities. And we also guarantee the lowest price guarantee as well. And with that being said, with our current promotion, again, talking about our longevity and our 150 years anniversary, we have our anniversary sale, which gives you up to 45% off plus up to $150 onboard credit and reduced deposit that is combinable with the Have It All program. And if anyone is looking for any Europe opportunities, we also have the Europe program, which you'll receive up to $500 air credit per person when you book a 23 or 24 Europe cruise, and it is combinable with this promotion as well. And that comes with the Have It All, and again, you'll get the reduced deposit. And for those of you in the room, because Holland America loves to make our mariners happy, we also have our community appreciation offers. So if you're a teacher, educator, faculty member, as well as retired or veteran military members, as well as first responders or healthcare workers, you will receive a shipworks credit that's combinable with the two promotions I just mentioned as well, because we like to make sure you guys are all set and packed and ready to go. And with that being said, I think, yeah, that is the end. So any questions I can answer for anyone?